The United States is scaling up investments in artificial intelligence arena as the country seeks to dominate the AI space, following its latest executive order by President Donald Trump. What does this race to the top mean for Africa? CNBC Africa is now joined live by Osaretin Agbonavbare for more in Houston, Texas. Many thanks for joining us, Osaretin.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, Happy. I'm really grateful for bringing me to the studio once again. Thank you.
Let's begin by analyzing the latest development on the AI action plan that President Trump rolled out. What does this hold for the country? And perhaps tell us, how do you see Africa angling to get a slice of the huge billions that are ready for AI?
Yeah, I think it was a very great afternoon, which has happened yesterday to Washington. So, and I think for many of us who are into artificial intelligence, especially here in America, I think it's a good development, because all this while, artificial intelligence have not really had like an action point where like a white paper or a draft, because what we've seen is been more optimization, people like private sectors trying to do some development on AI. But I think what the president did yesterday was a great move, and I think it positioned the world and even in Africa to know that it is very, very important for everyone to be part of this movement. So it's something that the U.S. have said that they want to be the number one, and you know, as a country as big as the U.S., AI needs to start in this place. That's just the truth, because most of the tech companies that is being used all over the world, most of their headquarters are here in America. So coming up with such a move, I think is a very good movement. And I think Africa has a lot to benefit from this, because if you look at what AI has done for humanity, like within the last 10 years, it is incredible. So you can imagine what it would do in the next 2 decades. So it means that Africa needs to also be part of this. And I'm very glad that the president has taken a great move to be a forerunner of AI in the world. So I think Africa will benefit from it for sure.
Speaking about how Africa will benefit, I'm just looking at the numbers right now, Osaretin, and in 2018, almost 32.5 billion euros was invested in EU AI companies, and 120 billion euros was invested in US AI companies. What does this say about America's push to become the leader in AI conversations, and how does this align with boosting education?
Yeah, I think it's very, very obvious because AI requires a lot of money because of the data center that need to be set all over the country. So a country that is being able to like boost its own GDP with AI, and also in terms of his own budgets, in terms of emphasizing on technology, I think that is something we all need to be thankful of, because all this while it's been more private sectors trying to do some innovations and all of that. So for the EU and also for America to have spent such amount of money, it shows that they want to be dominant, because that is the step you need to be dominant. You can't just be dominant by just having conversation, just talking and all of that. You need to take some proactive measure by way of investing into it, like trying to look at other critical sectors of the economy, which AI is part of, and investing into it. So someone who was putting a lot of money, a country who are putting a lot of money into AI, I think it's already like trying as much as possible to leverage on what this beautiful technology can do for its own country. So, and Africa should not be left behind, because the leaders also need to try to put resources, like look at other areas, because it's very, very critical. Because if you look at what AI has done for the past like few years, it is incredible. People are using AI, the generative AI, to do a lot of stuff, designs and all of that. So imagine these things are in our everyday life. And the only way that can be done is those who are trying to finance, those who are trying to put money into it. So for the US, for the EU to put a lot of money into this area, it shows that they want to dominate, and Africa need to also be part of it.
And looking at the greater scheme of things, AI in Africa right now is still not properly regulated. Countries are still trying to step up investments in infrastructure. Perhaps what more would be your insight when it comes to how leaders can position themselves when it comes to tapping into the financing?
I think it's very easy for the continent to take a measure because the US have set a pace for others. So if every continent will want to be like even in Asia, we see China doing a lot of things in AI. So if you look at what US has done within a few years, especially this administration, it's almost like a template. It's just for Africa to look at it, look at some of these action points, like the action plan that was being put together by the president yesterday. This is something that is already in the public domain that the policymaker in Africa can actually come together and say, okay, let's see how we could look at some of these things and see how we could make it become more indigenous. Because we know that technology in America may be different in Africa. So, but we could make this technology become more inclusive, that will address some of the issues that we have in the continent. So I think the US have already taken a step, so Africa can actually take its own step and try as much as possible to look at the people, the personnel. Because we have a lot of people in another part of the continent, like in Nigeria, like in Kenya, South Africa, in Morocco. There've been a lot of incubation centers. There've been a lot of acceleration program that has to do with AI in terms of bringing more experts in AI. So I think these things are already existing. Don't also forget that the continent has a very young population, which is an advantage for the own continent.
Just recently, we did see President Trump declaring America's dominance when it comes to drone technology and commercialization and industrial use. And looking at this, we've seen a lot of talk around Africa being an area that many companies would love to set up and, of course, do manufacturing. What are you seeing through your lens when it comes to capacity? Is the market ready? And at the same time, do you have willing investors?
Yeah, so at Dronelytics, we were excited to hear President Trump have a focus not only on drones, but artificial intelligence, or AI. Those two go hand in hand. When it comes to manufacturing, we are looking at doing manufacturing in East Africa of our drone that we're calling the Prowler, that flies and traverses, but also other types of drones as well. We have to gain those economies of scale on the continent there, because the opportunities are matter of fact, very great. But when it comes to President Trump and those policies, it goes hand in hand. How can we work from the United States with Africa and vice versa? Mm-hmm. We see an opportunity here for African or Kenyan-made drones or Rwandan-made drones to go into the U.S. marketplace. You know, the challenge, the reason for that is the Chinese manufactured drones have been basically outlawed for use in the U.S. government system, from universities to government entities as well. And so we're hoping to backfill that need.
All right.